Hey guys, Bowie here, and this is things I've learned with EG.RTZ Anti Mage in 720. Anti Mage is a hero that comes and goes, and you could say that the hero is definitely good in this patch. The game starts with the same tone Arthur carries throughout most of the game, very aggressive moves at all times. If you check the entire enemy composition, they just lack real lockdown. Jugger has none, and Troll has an answer but needs to be attacking AM in the first place. Then you add the fact that they have 3 intelligence heroes with big mana pools, and you will get the idea of how out of control RTZ was this game. Even though Anti-Mage is melee, the lane against Nature's Prophet is not necessarily easy. The Blightstone and the Treants are very hard to deal with early on, and Anti-Mage has no AoE clear. Lich on the other hand has it, and I really like how RTZ never wastes the Frost Shield. It's normal in lanes that sometimes your Lich will not be in sync with you and gives you the spell when you don't necessarily want to trade the enemy, and even then, look how RTZ uses the spell to its best ability, harassing some heroes and treants. RTZ gets a lot out of this lane, and most of it comes from your old creep aggro. Look how he just gets close enough to draw aggro from this dying creep, and since he did that, the NP's deny is just a little bit too late and he gets the CS. As that happens, he draws creep aggro from the other creep he pulled, but only later. Only when Nature's Prophet will have to focus in right-clicking this creep, he draws aggro from this one, diminishing the chance that he gets denied. Another thing to note during this game is that RTZ started with 2 sets of tangos, then he buys one more that the Lich brings, and this is one thing that below 5k supports and carries do terribly wrong. The side lanes will have constant deaths, and that most of the time gives you, as a carry or as a support, the chance to bring the other person's items to the lane so that the courier can be utilized by the people that really need it. Asking your partner to bring those small items to you can and will enable the other lanes, since not only you're getting the item faster because your ally teleported, but it makes item deliveries faster for everyone since you're not using the courier. After that set of tangos, he gets another one and also a Wraith Bed. And this huge amount of regen might seem uncalled for, especially for an older player that is used to rushing the old ring. The ring is nice and all, but in general, all the high MR players prefer to get more stats and buy the regen, and only after threads they get the ring. The aggression you see here is entirely connected with the fact that he got all those stats first. You cannot expect a naked ring anti-mage to just jump other people or to survive the jump if he actually goes for it. By having the better damage, the better HP, RTZ was able to participate in 3 kills already while farming and not dying. Lich unfortunately ends up dying here, and without Mana Void there's no way RTZ can get a kill of his own, but what's most important here is the play that he goes after the death. He pulls for himself. A lot of low MR carries would either full-time jungle or try and lane with the equilibrium there, and the end result is farming very little, taking a lot of damage for it, and maybe even dying. By pulling, RTZ fixes the creep equilibrium and loses very little time, since in that position, he was not gonna farm much anyways. It's quite hard to connect the large camp in the dire side, so he doesn't even bother, but this play here changes everything. Now he is farming in a way safer area, and since the Nature's Prophet is forced to be out of his comfort zone, look what happens. They quickly find another kill. After that, look how much pressure he puts on the Grimstroke. In general, Radiant has very little that RTZ fears, which allows him from very early on to play like this. A couple of minutes later, as he is farming, you can see that he is constantly hovering the camera to this area of the map. He understands the fight is about to break out, and since we already mentioned, there are 3 int heroes in the enemy team, so he makes sure to keep stabs there. Note how he checks the Grimstroke's mana. And once the Nature's Prophet TP, he decides to join his friends. He knew Grimstroke had no mana, and that's just an easy kill, but just keep watching how RTZ plays this game. RTZ is a player that everyone sees as this great farmer, and Anti-Mage probably represents that mentality even more. And yet, he's chasing this Nature's Prophet here with only Jugger showing mid. He could be farming top right now, yes, but he already TP'd bottom, and he understands how Radiants catch his shit this game. He knows he is pretty strong at the moment. Look how quickly he starts chasing the Winter Wyvern. Since he already committed the TP here, going back top imposes a lot of downtime, so yeah, maybe he's not farming here, he's just creating space, whereas going back top doesn't do anything besides wasting time. Instead, they pressure bottom since they have a Beastmaster. as they start to take a tier 2, RTZ that had vision of most Radiant heroes can jump and forces Winter's Curse like this, even though his Battle Fury is not even ready yet. Yes, this is not the fastest Battle Fury possible, and yes, RTZ dies here because of a dumb mistake, and yes, I worship RTZ, and this death was intentional. He was low on mana, and he just wanted to go back to Fountain ASAP. RTZ's attention to detail is amazing though. As he farms the jungle, he spots a random wyvern there, which definitely means he is on a warding mission, so RTZ already suggests a path that the hero might take and the wards he can place. But that's fine, I can do that. As the wyvern disengages though, he gets vision from the hero in this high ground area, and since he knows all that, and he can get perfect timing even with no vision from that hero, he gets this Invis rune and finishes his Battle Fury in style. If that's not enough for you, he jumps the Nature's Prophet a couple seconds after that, and as he gets a glimpse of the wyvern, this long-ass chase starts. For starters, Nature's Prophet is dead, and he has vision of a couple of Radiant heroes, so he doesn't fear the chase. It's kinda slow, but he finds the kill. Even though RTZ is seemingly owning, Radiant gets Aegis, and the gold advantage between both teams is negligible. This game can swing both ways, and once the Aegis is acquired, RTZ changes the way he plays quite a bit. First, because at the start, Radiant was not 5 maning, but with the Aegis they are. This means that since he cannot kill heroes anymore as an anti-mage at this stage of the game, his best move is to just cut waves. Note though that he is farming the enemy jungle and not his own. The reason for that is that since Radiant is 5 manning and pushing, it's way less likely that they will find him there. His team is fighting top, but he has no manta and no means of using the courier, so he keeps on jumping from mid to bottom, forcing TPs back and taking Radiant farm away from them. He uses all the tools that he has to be sure he is safe when cutting waves. For about 3 minutes he was just jumping between mid and bottom, and now that he has his manta, he controls this area even better. Depending on the game, you don't see anti-mages using manta so liberally like this, because this could mean their death. In this game though, there's very few things that he fears, so few actually, that he just jumps towers in aggro range to clear the wave since he sees people bottom. Right now, you might be weirded out by Skadi being RTZ's next item of choice. The first thing I want to tell you is that RTZ is not rushing Skadi after mana only in this game. He did it on every single game he played as an anti-mage in the last week. Usually, as a third item after Manta, you have 3 to maybe 4 choices. Butterfly, which means you split push super well, you will not die to physical damage. Abyssal, which means you get a little bit of kill potential in heroes with escapes. And Skadi, and maybe BKB. I think people misunderstand the difference in DPS between Abyssal Blade and Skadi though. In your opinion, how much more damage an anti-mage at this stage of the game has with a Skadi instead of Abyssal? 10% more damage? 20% more damage? The answer is actually 35. And it's not only that. You get a lot of mana, which means you're better against mana drain. You get 5 extra armor, 250 more HP, and if you're playing against heroes that have no escapes, probably more lockdown, since the constant 35% slow is definitely better than a small chance to bash sometimes, if you're just running after people and they don't have any escapes. So in general, Skadi Anti-Mage is actually pretty good. You probably will still need an Abyssal against Co-op, Storms, and TAs, but, maybe give Skadi a try. Alright guys, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. I have a Twitter where I talk Dota and memes. I have a Twitch where I play and cast. And if you're into Instagram or Discord, you can find those in the description below.